What's going on, beautiful people? I got my boy here, James.
How's everybody doing again today?
Pretty good, pretty good. So, what are we talking about?
Well, one of the things we were actually talking about today before we drove up here is, one of the things I'd really like to touch on is, I truly believe in this life, you are the author of your own story. You are the author of your own life. And one of the things I was telling my buddy, my brother, good friend, Saeed, is, you know, it's not how your story begins, it's how it ends. I truly believe with all my heart, you write every page, every chapter, and it's up to you. You know, sometimes in your life, you are born in a shitty situation, and I see a lot of people playing the blame game, like, oh, my life ended up being like this because of my mother, because of my father, or vice versa. And the thing is, you know, don't blame anybody else but yourself. You know, you write your destiny. It's in your hands. And you write every page, every chapter, which I'm trying to say. And I think you could really set yourself up for a beautiful ending. And I think in this life, you know, you'll have chapters of adversity. You'll have chapters of perseverance. You'll have chapters of a downfall. You know, this life is kind of magical like that. It's quite the learning experience. And one of the things Saeed and I kind of disagree with is he likes to think that everything is perfect. And when I kind of look at it in a way of, you know, everything we go through in life, whether it's shitty or bad, and whether something might happen where it doesn't go your way, or just a terrible situation that's out of your control. But like we touched in our other video is, you know, when you're learning and you're making mistakes, you're winning. And I think it's one of the things that we're put on this earth to do is to learn from those things, and that alone is beautiful itself. When you really think about it, that is really perfect. The everything perfect thing is misunderstood, because perfect doesn't mean good. That's not what it means. Perfect doesn't mean perfect doesn't mean good. It just means perfect, you know? So you could be feeling like shit, and that's perfect, because that feeling of inadequacy, those feelings of needing to change something, that wouldn't have been made possible if you hadn't been feeling inadequate. That's why I say it's perfect. That's why I say everything's perfect, including suffering. Suffering is perfect. It's not good, it doesn't feel good, but it's perfect. So that's sort of looking at things in a very detached way, as if I'm not a human, as if I'm an alien. Looking at things very objectively, as if I'm like way out in space, and trying to put things into perspective, you see that everything is perfect. And to tie it back into the topic of the video, which is you writing your own story. So you're the author, and think of your life as a movie, and think of your life as a story, as a book. Now, where I disagree with you is, you said you write every chapter. I don't think you write every chapter. I think your story is predetermined, I think is what you're going to say.
Well, so I think most of it is predetermined. I mean, you didn't really choose where you were born. You didn't really choose the first 14, 20 years of your life. I don't think anybody really chooses what happens. I think the story just sort of gets written as is. You grow up in this country, and you have these parents, you have these friends, and you really don't really making choices here. You know, it's being written for you. But the beautiful thing, I think, where you become the author is when you realize that. Is when you realize, oh shit, my life is a movie, it's a storyline. I can just pick up the pen from here on, and I can write the chapters. So then from there on, you decide to write the chapters from this point forward, right? It's like, oh, okay, you know, all these chapters have been written for me, and you find yourself in the middle of the book, essentially, when you wake up.
This is the awakening. This is the awakening we're talking about. The awakening, you wake up and you find yourself in the middle of the movie, in the middle of the story. And you say, well, okay, I'm not giving my pen to anybody else no more. I mean, really, somebody else is writing for you. And unfortunately, most writers out there are shitbags who lack any sense of good storytelling. It's just terrible stories going around, man. Terrible writers right now. So you awake and you pick up the pen and you say, all right, I'm writing this story from here on. I am the one that is going to write. And you write your future. You write, I want to live a certain way. I want to make a certain amount of money. I want to serve the world in a certain way. I want to travel the world. I want to become the best football player. I want to do whatever. I want to be a musician. I want to be anything, really.
And like I said, every chapter, it's for your taking. It's for the taking. Whatever you want to name that chapter, it's your life. You can make it whatever you want. So don't be writing your book off, going off what other people think you should write it. You write it for you.
Yeah, because again, most writers, they're terrible. They lack any sense of adventure, and a good story needs adventure.
You are the creator, you are the author.
I mean, take any movie, like any good movie. Lord of the Rings. Have you seen Lord of the Rings?
No.
No, okay. Well, anyway, it's like Harry Potter.
You know what? I've heard of them, but
okay.
I just went out of my way not to really ever watch them. If you say Game of Thrones, maybe.
Okay, Game of Thrones?
Game of
all
Thrones.
right, Game of Thrones. There you go, Game of Thrones. I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. And what makes it good? It's like everybody's going on adventures, right? Like the fucking Jon Snow is at the wall. The dragon lady is like going around chopping heads off and burning people in burning towns. You know, everybody's going on an adventure, and that's what makes Game of Thrones interesting. You know, good storytelling. Everybody's going off adventures. Everybody's going on to, you know, get out of their comfort zone into the unknown, into the uncertain. And most storytellers right now, most writers lack any sense of decency when it comes to writing. Everybody's writing a very boring, mundane, secure plot line, and that's not gonna make a good story. Your life is gonna be fucking boring. You're gonna be a boring person, period.
Put down on that paper whatever you feel is free. You know, there's no rules. There's no fucking rules. And society, they like to make you feel like you got to stay in the guidelines. But I'm a creator. I like to just take that pen and write down whatever comes to my mind. I don't care what anybody thinks or how stupid it is. That's how I express myself. And,
yeah, there's no rules, man. That's another thing, right?
I come
there's
from
no fucking rules.
I come from a artistic background, and it's just everybody can start in a certain way. Everybody has their own way. They start off the foundation, how they start off the beginning. The thing that people do last, I might do first. I might work on the last chapter first, not the first chapter. It's what you want it to be, you know. And that's the thing is, when you finish the book, don't rush to finish the book. Rome wasn't built in one night. It was not built in one night.
And whether you like it or not, the story's gonna end because you're gonna die, motherfucker.
That's what I mean. It's like...
So the book's gonna end. Hey, you might as well live it out. Go on adventures. The book's gonna end. What do you think? You're gonna live forever? No.
Go out there, take the action like we are doing right now and making this video. And yeah. I don't think nobody was going to do it for us. You know, I think we're writing this chapter right now. We had to get off our asses.
That's right.
And make this fucking video.
That's right. That's right.
And
that's right. That's right.
I don't know if it was predetermined or not. I don't know if it was already meant to be. But I know we had the power of moving off of our asses to make this video. So I don't think anybody was doing it for us.
Right. But
and that really correlates with everything. If you look at it on a universal scale, with everything, you know, it's the move and get things done. Like, I know he's got a lot of stuff going on with this channel. He's got to really bust his ass to get things really going for everybody soon.
5 a.m. grinds, baby.
Yeah,
5 a.m. grinds.
And I don't know. I think he might be rewriting history here with this one. So I don't know if it was predetermined. I think he's just.
I think you can rise above the predeterminism of everything, and I think you can rise above fate. I think if you realize, but it takes you to wake up.
That awakening.
Yeah, it takes you to wake up. But I think you can, to an extent, rise above fate. Because I mean, how can I rise above fate if I fucking walk there and a car comes and smashes my head, and next thing you know, my brain is fucking splattered all over the car and
fucking
all over.
hamburger meat.
Yeah. Right. So, but I think to an extent, you can rise above fate. And I think that's the awakening. That's when you wake up and you see yourself in the middle of the book, in the middle of the story. You pick up the motherfucking pen, all right? And you say, I am the writer. I am the author. And I'm going to write this chapter where I get to do whatever you want to do in your life. And if fate supports you and you don't fucking get hit by a car, then yeah, that's great. Because now you've really, to an extent, with help from the universe, have risen above fate.
And hey, there's a lot of stories out there that have started in humble beginnings, and I'm telling you right now, you can make it a beautiful ending.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful ending.
Absolutely. You can be an inspiring avatar for other avatars. You can have an inspiring movie, so that when people later on come with their own movie, and they can look at your movie and say, wow, what an inspirational book, what an inspirational character, what an inspirational avatar.
Honestly, I know we're kind of talking about the author here with books, but if there's one movie I could look at that like inspired me and just like really like made me like want me to get off my ass and make things happen, was Rocky.
Yeah,
Rocky.
I knew you were going to say Rocky, yeah.
The underdog story.
I knew you
know,
say Rocky.
it's just defining the odds, you know. It's
yeah,
just,
I love Rocky. I love Rocky. All of them. Rocky 1 was like the underdog, the classic underdog. Rocky 2 was just like...
going the distance.
Yeah, Rocky 2 is him also like finding his real power, right? Because in 1 he was complete underdog. In 2 he became richer and stuff, but he still had to like prove himself. Rocky 3 was him losing belief in himself and finding it again. And Rocky 4 is just fucking hilarious. With Drago.
He dies.
Yeah. If he dies, he dies.
And then 5 was in the end of his career.
Yeah.
When he lost all his money, he lost everything, but
had to go back to the ghetto.
In the end, it was still a happy ending. He realized what really made him happy.
Yeah. So no, Rocky's amazing, man. I love Rocky.
And hey, you know, I appreciate everybody for tuning in and watching.
God bless you all, guys.
We're all vibing and jiving on the same fucking frequency over here.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. And that's it. God bless you all, guys. Don't forget to subscribe or you're gonna sleep with the fishes. So subscribe.